let's talk about potential moves for the Kraken. Just review some fan trades and then give some feedback. If you guys got some mock Kraken trades, get into the comments with them or what the Kraken could do. Let's see. Now, so I'm already going to skip this one. That one looks unrealistic. Seattle retool. Let's look at this one. Ooh, so Marco Rossi sent Jared McCann to the Wild. Oh, I actually like that. Why do I actually like that? So I haven't talked about that a lot, but I think Jared McCann could very likely get traded. I think Toronto actually could be one of the teams that rights that wrong. Remember once upon a time when Kyle Dubas and Brendan Shanahan picked protecting Justin Hall over Jared McCann. Fun times. But there's a few teams. Like I could see Detroit getting in on a Jared McCann. Minnesota makes actually a lot of sense. I could see a Tampa Bay. I suggested Tampa Bay before the trade deadline, before they actually went after Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gourde. So I could see Tampa Bay making another trade with Seattle. We'll see. But that Minnesota one makes a lot of sense. And no, Seattle's not going to trade Adam Larson for just a second to take on Justin Hall. So that ain't happening. But that seems interesting in terms of a start of a deal. Like, I think Seattle would want one of the prospects from Detroit. So, like, give me Nate Danielson or Marco Casper or maybe one of their young defensemen. So I think that could be, like, the early parts of a deal. But that's a joke. Like, if a Kraken fan is thinking Hall's not as bad as we're talking about, like, it ain't it. But yeah, I think they got to do more than this, though. Like, I just think they got to do more than this. Pat Maroon's retiring, so I don't know why that person's bugging. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't. Like, what are we on about? We need some good Kraken trades in here. Let's go. Berkeley Catton, give him a chance. Yeah, I like that title. Ooh, Chris Kreider. What are we on about? Some of these, bro, some fans are off the rocker. New year, new Seattle. Okay. Maybe we're onto something here. But again, I think that's just Buffalo going in the wrong direction. That's the problem with that one. There's a Toronto one there, so let's pull it up here in a second. Ooh, Burakovsky to Boston. See, honestly, I wonder if Dallas, especially if they lose in the conference finals again, I wonder if they're going to trade one of their core players. Because do they want to bring back the Duchesne and Jamie Benz of the world, or do they want to build around Jason Robertson? I don't really see them moving Jason Robertson, but it's interesting. Like, does Dallas want to create more cap flexibility for themselves to go after a Mitch Marner or one of the other big fish in the market? That's interesting in a way. Let's look at the Toronto one, though. And again, guys, if you have any Seattle Kraken mock trades in the chat, get it going. Oh, Leaf fans, what do we think about this one? Oh, that's interesting. With Burakovsky retained too, I would almost consider this if Nylander was waiving. This sounds crazy, but Matthew Beniers as your second line center behind Matthews. I would only do this if it meant the Leafs bring back Marner. I know that sounds crazy, but if the Leafs were able to bring back Marner, I would do this. Jared McCann up in the top six. Matty Beniers is the second line center long term behind Matthews, and then Burakovsky retained. I mean, this would be huge for the Kraken too, getting Nylander into that offense, because they need an offensive jolt big time. Wow. I would do this. And I actually think it might make sense for the Kraken too. Because the Kraken have a lot of forwards, and they have a lot of prospects in the pool as well. Like, you give Berkeley Catton a chance. There's a lot of guys that the Kraken have coming. And maybe this jolts Shane Wright's offense to get going here. Honestly, I would do this if I'm both teams. I'm not even joking. I think the Kraken, they realize that McCann's going to be expensive to re-sign it at some point here. And then, I mean, Burakovsky we know he's up and down. And then Matty Beniers, they weren't even sold that he could be the number one center. So I think the big thing for the Kraken is for their upcoming draft selection, if they can draft their future 1-2 punch with Shane Wright there, maybe try to sign one of the guys in free agency. Maybe they try to go aggressive at Sam Bennett as well. But I think that makes a lot of sense for the Kraken. Get Nylander. If he was willing to waive, that would make a lot of sense. Keep that defense core. The only sus decision there is the Cody Ceci signing. But, wow. I think that actually makes a lot of sense for both teams. That's interesting. Maybe we'll review one more here. Big moves. Vancouver and Buffalo. Oh, Matty Beniers and Tolvanen to Vancouver for Pettersson. I actually like this one too. I think value-wise, this is not too bad. I think Seattle gets a little bit more of an offensive ceiling there. I don't know about the 2025 first-round pick swapping. Like, I think this person tried to sneak that in. I don't like that. And then, I know Bowen Byram's in those trade rumors right now. Could Byram get moved? And could he get moved to Seattle? That's actually not that bad of a trade scenario. Jared McCann's more of an experienced forward. I might send this to a few of my Sabres buddies. This is an interesting one. If you're Buffalo, do you give up on Peterka and Byram? If it means getting more experienced and I would say, I don't know, just veteran presence, right? Like Dunn has the cup. Jared McCann, a bit more of an experienced scorer. And you still even get a future first-round pick from Seattle in this. I actually like that for Buffalo. I think that gives a little bit more of that winning mentality where Seattle gets a bit of more of a growing younger core. And then if Seattle, goes into that free agent market, man, I think this person, whoever did this, is got a good mind. I like the creativity on this scenario here. Bowen Byram as the number one guy, give him that chance. We keep hearing that Bowen Byram wants to be the number one guy. He doesn't want to be stuck behind a Power and Dahlin. He wants that chance. And with Seattle, if Vince Dunn was going the other way, he would get that clear chance. I like this for the Kraken, man. Big time. Yeah, like I actually think that's what Buffalo Sabres fans have been wanting. Like my guy Riley, he's been talking about a Sabres trade that looks exactly like this. You get a more experienced defenseman. I know it's not perfect. Like the only, I would say, devil's advocate I would say on this trade is it makes sense Dunn's going the other way for the fit of Bowen Byram getting that number one spot on Seattle. But I would say Buffalo wants that right shot defenseman. So I would say they're definitely staring at Adam Larson in the face. Like Adam Larson would be a perfect defense partner for a Dahlin or a Power. Like perfect. So that's another scenario there. Like Seattle and Buffalo could be really good trade partners the more I think about it. But I think Seattle wants to. But yeah, you're right, Bacon. Like this is a rare W. Like you don't see Puck GMs. Again, I don't like the swapping of the first round picks here. I don't think Seattle would be willing to do that. But I don't even know how high their first round pick is. I don't think it's that much of a difference. But at the same time, if they're high on Pettersson as more of that offensive ceiling, could make some sense. Could make some sense for sure. So, hey, there's a few ideas for Seattle definitely floating in the air here.